Radio Forest Podcast.
All right.
What's happening, Dusty? Are you having a good time?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a great time, actually.
Your tour is the night shift tour. Have you worked the night shift, I assume, right?
Yeah, I've worked, it depends on what you mean by night shift, but I've done some overnights, done some overnight stocking at the Office Depot. But I also worked, a lot of just what you might call second shift, where you go into the night, 11, 12 o'clock.
Comedians kind of work in the night shift too, though, right? When do you get to bed after a show? Because these have to run to 10, 11 o'clock. Then you've got meet and greets and then getting back on the bus. I mean, you're probably not to bed to 1, 2 in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, when you do clubs or, some cities, I'm doing 2 theater shows a night. So, these clubs, I've done clubs where the show ends at 10, or the show begins at 10:30. I mean, we're getting out of there at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I'm wired. I go somewhere, have a cigar. I'm asleep by 3, and then I got kids at home. So my body now is built to wake up. So I go to sleep at 3. I'm still up at 7. It's killing me.
And what do the kids think about the property? I love the fact that you've got your own place. It looks like you've got a lot of work going on. What's happening at the property, and how's the family enjoying it?
Well, they love it. I only got, sometimes my time is limited, and it's a little bit of a drive from our house. So we'll ride out there. We went out there a couple of days ago. I have a lot of old dead trees, so I wanted to plant some flowering vines that could grow up these trees. And then I planted a couple of new oak trees. So we went out there for maybe 4 hours. They ran around in the remaining snow that we have in Tennessee, and we rode the four-wheeler. They had a great time.
So down in Tennessee, have you ever made it to Kid Rock's bar, the Honky Tonk and Steakhouse?
Oh, yeah, a couple of times. I did a show. I did Kid Rock's Comedy Jam at the Ryman one time, and then the after party was at his club, and we all went down there.
And I saw recently opened, Jelly Roll has now like a 3-story Goodnight Nashville. Have you ran into him or any plans to go to that bar?
Well, I probably will go. I don't drink personally, so bars are not that fun for me, but I do like to go and see what's happening. Kid Rock's bar, I've met him a couple of times, and he's been very nice to me, and his bar is actually a lot of fun. It seems like it's cheesy, but it's always like a huge rock show any time of day. Jelly Roll is a very nice guy. I've interacted with Jelly Roll a few times. He's a very nice guy.
We're talking to Dusty Slay, the Night Shift Tour. He's also got a special on Netflix right now. Dusty, I was hoping you could rank some country singers for me. I'm thinking singers that are also actors. Who's the better combo? Dwight Yoakam, Chris Christopherson, or Kenny Rogers?
Oh, that's a tough one. But you know what? I got to go. I mean, I love Chris Christopherson and Kenny Rogers, but I got to go Dwight Yoakam. I love Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah, he's got some actually really good roles. There's some movie recently, but I'll forget that it's Dwight for a while. I feel like Kenny Rogers, I'm like, oh my God, it's Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, I just watched Six Pack the other day. Love that movie. Chris Christopherson movies may be a little old for me. I don't know a lot of his movies, but Dwight Yoakam, I just loved so much. I saw him he was in 4 Christmases. I just watched that the other day. And then he's in Wedding Crashers. He was in a movie with Clint Eastwood called Cry Macho. He's great. I love Dwight Yoakam. But my favorite role of all time, Sling Blade.
I've actually never seen that.
Oh man, it's such a good movie. But it's Dwight Yoakam's best role.
Yeah, and I think Billy Bob Thornton, I think he's the other way. I think he's an actor that's played some country music, but I've never heard his music.
Yeah, I think it's the Box, I forget what it's called, but yeah, he has a band. I've listened to him a little bit. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it.
What's your favorite poor meal? Is there something that you still go to, or the opposite, something you can't eat because you had it so much?
Well, I don't know that I eat either of them now, but there's 2 meals that my mom used to make. She would make salmon patties. It's almost like crab cakes, but it's like salmon, and salmon out of a can. Growing up, I had no idea that salmon was like a real fish. I mean, it sounds ridiculous to say, but it just never crossed my mind. And tuna, too. We used to have tuna out of the can, and I had no idea tuna was a real fish. I was working at Hyman Seafood in Charleston, South Carolina, when I saw a fillet of salmon and a tuna steak for the first time, and it blew my mind. Another meal that my mom would make would be like canned roast beef on toast. It kind of sounds, I mean, like, you know, you could do, it's like an open-faced sandwich, but we're talking white bread toasted with butter and roast beef, and we loved it. I mean, canned roast beef sounds kind of gross to me now, but back then I loved it. Oh, one more. Sometimes, for some reason, we would eat cornflakes and bacon. We wouldn't put the bacon in the cornflakes, but you would eat a bite of cornflakes and take a bite of bacon. Delicious, too.
Yeah, I remember having cereal with powdered milk. Did you ever have to go down that road?
Yeah, no, we never did the powdered milk. I mean, we never had fancy meals, but I wouldn't say we ever had to go super poor with it.
Smoking, chewing, and drinking. For me, drinking was actually really easy to quit. I'm over 20 years now. Smoking was harder, but a lot of times I didn't enjoy smoking and found myself still smoking, or going outside when it's cold or I'm hungover and I don't want to get up. But chewing, for me, dipping was so hard to quit because it hardly ever didn't feel or taste good.
I mean, drinking was hard for me because I really liked drinking, but I started to feel really bad. I'm actually at 13 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, but smoking in the same way, smoking really hurt me. Like, I really liked it, but I could feel the effects of smoking on my body so fast that I would quit periodically. And dipping, yeah, I mean, when I quit smoking cigarettes, I kept dipping for a little while. Something happened to me one day, and I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I was dipping in the car, and I just felt like I was sinking down into the car. I just felt miserable. So I threw the dip out, and then a little while, and then I started to feel better. I started to get my energy back, and I felt good. And I put another dip in, and then the same thing happened to me. And I just threw it out and never did it again. But all that to say, I still smoke cigars. I love them. I don't inhale them. They don't make me feel bad. I might feel better overall if I didn't do them. But I like them. I find them relaxing. Still struggling with nicotine.
Yeah, I have to be careful with cigars. I like a good cigar now and then, but I have to keep in mind, like, how many am I having a week? Am I going to have one every night? And so I kind of have to limit that. But I wanted to talk about rock bands that also dip into the country sound, and maybe you could tell me your favorite, Eagles or Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Oh, man, that's tough because, I mean, the Eagles are so great, but I got to go CCR. I looked up some stuff on them recently, and it's like they really had a lot of problems with the record label and stuff like that. And then John Fogerty kind of seemed to dip out of it for a while because of all that. And just what a shame, because if we didn't have those problems, how much more could we have gotten out of them? Because they're unbelievable.
It is Dusty Slay, the Night Shift Tour going on. He's got his podcast, and he also has the Nateland podcast, too. So, Dusty, thanks for talking to me today, man. Good luck on the tour.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like I must have told you this last time. But you have a great voice. I mean, it's a solid voice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Dusty. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you.